What really drives women to sleep with men? The truth will shock you. Unlocking the primal code of female desire. Why do women sleep with some men but not others? Why can two men look similar, behave similarly, and yet only one awakens her deep, almost instinctive desire? To understand this, we need to go beyond surface assumptions like confidence or looks, and explore what's actually happening in the female brain. The same ancient biological system that has quietly shaped human attraction for thousands of years. This article breaks down, from a scientific and psychological perspective, what really drives women to sleep with men, not in terms of manipulation or games, but through the primal, emotional, and cognitive mechanisms that influence desire, attachment, and sexual decision-making. 1. The three-part system of attraction: lust, attraction, and attachment. Just like men, women's attraction operates through three interlinked systems: lust, attraction, and attachment. Each system has its own purpose and chemistry, and when they synchronize, sexual and emotional desire become irresistible. Lust, the biological spark; attraction, the emotional high; attachment, the emotional bond. 1.1 Lust, the biological spark. 1.1 Lust, the biological spark. Lust is the primal urge rooted in estrogen and testosterone, designed to motivate mating. It's not about love or compatibility yet, it's the body's way of saying, this man could be a strong partner. What triggers female lust isn't just physical looks. It's often vitality, masculine energy, scent, voice tone, and presence that signal health, strength, and confidence. A man's scent, especially when his immune genes differ from hers, can unconsciously activate her arousal system. This ensures genetic diversity, an evolutionary advantage that women's brains are still wired to seek. 1.2 Attraction, the emotional high. Once lust opens the door, dopamine takes over. This is where romantic and sexual tension bloom. Every time a woman laughs with a man, receives his attention, or feels emotionally seen, dopamine floods her brain. Her nervous system begins associating him with pleasure, excitement, and reward. This is why she starts thinking about him, replaying moments, or feeling butterflies before meeting him. Attraction literally rewires her emotional landscape, making her prioritize him, even if logic tells her not to. But here's the twist. Attraction doesn't always equal readiness for intimacy. Many women feel attraction without acting on it, because another system, attachment and emotional safety, hasn't yet been activated. 1.3 Attachment, the emotional bond that opens her body. True intimacy for women rarely happens from lust alone. It requires oxytocin, the bonding hormone released during deep trust, affection, and touch. Oxytocin lowers defenses. It transforms a man from someone exciting into someone safe. When women feel emotionally understood, respected, and secure, their nervous system relaxes, making them more open to sexual connection. That's why women often sleep with men who make them feel emotionally comfortable, not just physically attractive. So, while lust sparks interest and attraction fuels excitement, attachment creates permission, the inner green light that says, I can let him in. 2. The hidden psychological triggers behind female desire. 2.1 Familiarity and the mere exposure effect. Many women develop attraction gradually. The more they see a man, the more their brain builds comfort and trust. This is the mere exposure effect, the brain's bias toward what feels familiar and safe. That's why colleagues, gym friends, or old friends sometimes become lovers. Over time, her brain associates him with stability, reliability, and emotional safety, key ingredients for sexual openness. Deeper psychological drivers. The comfort of familiar patterns. Psychologists have found that women often feel drawn to men who subconsciously resemble early emotional figures, usually caregivers or people from childhood. It's not about physical resemblance, but emotional rhythm. A familiar tone of voice, a certain calmness, or nurturing energy can remind her nervous system of early safety. This emotional familiarity can unlock deep trust and comfort, which in turn activates sexual openness. It's as if her brain says, I know this energy. I can relax here. The matching hypothesis. Desire that feels balanced. While movies glorify opposites attracting, neuroscience shows that most people are drawn to partners within a similar range of attractiveness, values, and lifestyle. This matching hypothesis ensures equilibrium, relationships that feel possible. If she sees him as roughly aligned in ambition, energy, or social value, her brain perceives him as a realistic partner, not just fantasy. This is why many women sleep with men who make sense to their lives. Not the flashiest, but the most emotionally compatible. 3. The chemistry of obsession. What happens when she can't stop thinking about him? When attraction deepens, her brain becomes a neurochemical storm. Dopamine spikes, making his texts and attention feel euphoric. Norepinephrine increases, raising heart rate, focus, and energy. Serotonin drops, causing obsessive thinking and craving. This mix creates the intoxicating feeling of falling in love, but also the vulnerability that comes with it. She may lose appetite, daydream, and replay moments, not because she's weak, but because her biology is reinforcing attachment. In essence, her brain temporarily makes him the center of her emotional world. 4. The X factor. Beyond biology. Science can explain hormones, chemistry, and attachment. But every woman has also experienced something beyond logic, the X factor. It's that mysterious connection where everything just clicks. She may say, he's not my type, but there's something about him. Masculine presence, feminine receptivity, energetic, polarity. 5. The slow burn effect. Why emotional safety creates desire. Not all attraction strikes like lightning. Many women experience slow burn attraction, feelings that develop after consistent emotional presence. When a man shows reliability, empathy, and emotional consistency, her nervous system relaxes. This calmness transforms into warmth, and warmth into desire. Women often describe it as, he grew on me. These relationships tend to form the deepest sexual bonds, because they're built on trust before touch. 6. The real truth. Biology starts it, but choice builds it. Attraction may begin in the body, a dance of hormones, chemistry, and primal instinct. But real intimacy, the kind that leads a woman to choose a man sexually and emotionally, is built through behavior. Emotional safety. Consistent presence. Honest communication. Respectful masculinity. Her body may react instinctively, but her heart opens through trust. That's the bridge between lust and love, the moment when instinct becomes intimacy. Final reflection. A woman doesn't sleep with a man merely because of his looks or charm. She does so when her mind feels safe, her heart feels seen, and her body feels alive. Desire isn't random. It's a complex symphony of biology, memory, and emotional intelligence, an ancient design still unfolding in the modern world. And for men who understand that, who learn to build comfort, curiosity, and trust, attraction stops being a mystery. It becomes something deeper. A connection born not from chasing, but from being.